Hey, and welcome to another review here at Total Toy Recon. My name is Bob, and today, as you can see, we're going to be dealing with the Marvel Select Silver Centurion Iron Man. Yes, this is the Marvel Select line. This is, if you're more of a recent collector, Marvel Legends based a lot of their designs on Diamond Select's Marvel Select line. It was the precursor to what Marvel Legends is. So it's a higher price point. You get a lot more accessories. Marvel Legends would just give you like, they may not give you two heads. They would give you, typical mask head and maybe this, and then just one set of hands. So, there's variance in the price points because of the accessories you get. It's also a slightly larger figure. But there are tons of collectors out there that have these. The accessories were always key. There was usually like, if you get I think there's like a Punisher or a Daredevil or something that has like a pinball machine behind it. I mean, there's crazy, insane things. This was the way, if you really wanted a highly detailed figure, this is the way to get it. Now, they still release these from time to time. They are not as prevalent as Marvel Legends are, which is like what? 6, 8, 9, 10 new ones every quarter. So these are a little bit different. And as you can see, we've got the Silver Centurion line right here. It is designed by Yuri Tming, and it's sculpted by Gentle Giant Studios. I love the proof of purchase here. What do we do with those now? I mean, back in the day, Kenner would give you something if you sent them in. We've got a lot of things that show us what he can do. But one thing I always like to point out is, if you're an in-the-box collector, this is all it's ever going to be. How do you know how cool it is? You don't. You're going to have to open them up. And we're going to open them up. So here we go. And the hardest part about that is there's no way to get them back in once you get them in. We're just going to rip them right out. Always heavy-duty glue here. Oh, wow. Really heavy-duty glue. I know people watch this and cringe, and there's other people like, yeah, get him free. So, get that out of there. I do put all this in the recyclable bin, by the way, and we just slide out the clamshell design. That's really cool. Now, I'd like to point out, when I started reading, ooh, there's a stand. Didn't even see that. Oh, and an arm. Oh, I'm loving this already. When I was reading Marvel Comics back in the day, when I first really got into Marvel Comics, I was like 10 or 11, and I was really just reading everything I could. And comics were 75 cents then-ish. 75 cents. Some were $1. But I was reading Captain America, and Captain America was no longer Steve Rogers. It was John Walker, who was the super patriot and later would become the captain. But at the time, Steve Rogers donned the captain outfit. Didn't have a shield or anything. And eventually he would ask Tony Stark to design him a new shield. Later it would be replaced by T'Challa. And, case in point, I was reading everything at the time that I could. Well, in Cap 341... Captain America 341 Volume 1, I believe that is, Steve Rogers went, and this was to meet Tony Stark, and met him during the Armor Wars. And you had to read what happened to their struggle and their fight in Iron Man 228. So, I mean, I've got both covers up here. It kind of shows you, if you want to dive into your Marvel Unlimited app, I highly recommend reading this storyline. Really, really cool. But for me, that was my first experience with Iron Man. I'm like, okay, so you guys were both Avengers, and you guys kind of like were well-respected guys, and now you're on opposite sides. Like, really like the precursor to Civil War for me, which obviously was decades later. But you could see that there was some sort of ideology there that was a little bit different between Steve Rogers and Tony Stark. So let's open them up. But this is my Iron Man. When I think of Iron Man, I think of the Silver Centurion Iron Man. We have got lots of really cool glass. We've got an arm and a stand, which is great because when you have a character like Iron Man, he's going to fly. So I'm going to speed this up, and we'll come back after I open it all up, all right? Very cool. All right, we are back, and there was a lot more to cut out than I realized. They used some sort of like plastic covers to kind of keep all the hands in, but I would highly recommend whenever you get Diamond Select toys, have a pair of wire cutters by. Even if it just snaps little plastic rubber bands. There was a steel like wire twisty around Tony. He kept them in, but what we're going to do is we're going to go through some of the accessories, and what we've got is we've got 3 different heads. We've got a chest blast, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of hands. We've got 10 hands, but let's start with the rocket boots because I'm going to take these off right away. But they go right inside the pegs. Really a nice touch. That's funny. Leg didn't really bend like I thought it would. There we go. That leg did. So we get a nice. I'm going to zoom out here. So we get a nice little like boost, kind of like that. And of course we do have the armature and the stand. So we're going to pop these out. Oh, really simple. It's kind of neat. I was surprised that these were actually like this because on a Hasbro version, and I'm sorry, Diamond, to make such a distinct, or maybe, to make those comparisons, these would have gone in the hands too. So I'm kind of liking that they're just for the boots, because the hand ones, here we have the blast. These, they come out. Here, we could do this. Oh, look at that. Nah, doesn't really stick. All right. So anyway, I really do dig these blasts, but this is something that you probably have to hit with a hairdryer. So we have 2 hands of these. I like that you could use these for like pushing him back, like he was going backwards. We do have lots of just basic hands, for flying, grabbing things. I don't know what he's going to grab. And then we've got these 2 really, really insane, like I'm going to call them knuckle punches. And I'm sorry, I do not know my Tony Stark, things, but look how it comes right out of the knuckle. That is really cool. That is just fantastic. And then we have the chest plate one, which I'm going to put on right away. Can I put on right away? Oh, weird. Okay, so here we are. It's there on the back. So here we see it right there, like so. This backpack is here, but I am not seeing how that comes out or how this attaches itself. Can I push it in? See, now this is something that it really does bother me with Diamond Select, and I've said this numerous times. They don't include instructions. Even the simplest little how-to on the back, like this doesn't look like a separate. Oh, yeah, okay, here we go. Real. Okay, so I see a line right there. Let's see if I can get my fingernail into it and then just pop it up. Look at that. That paint was so perfect. The paint design was so perfect, I thought it was stuck in there. So here we go. All right. So look at that. That is really cool. This is a sweet Iron Man. I'm really digging it. That's insane. Look at that spike. The spike of power. All that blast coming out of there. So this is neat. This is something you're obviously going to have to be careful of. But, I mean, if it wouldn't have been just for that little bit down there on the bottom that I could get my fingernail into and pop it up, I'm not understanding this. Why you would include this helmet on the figure in the package. Like, it's not a cool design. It's just weird. It's kind of like, oh, yeah, I'm Tony Stark with green sunglasses on. It came out of my helmet. Again, I do not have the flattest surface in the world. But kind of give you an instant. I always like doing the instant pose, the instant stand. He's fighting me a bit, but pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, there he goes. It's a bit of a curvature because I got him pretty far back so you guys can see him. But I'm going to put him next to our recent Gandalf the Grey that we just reviewed from Diamond. And they're very, similar in height, obviously. So we do have a nice... Let's see here, from foot to the top, he's a little over 7 inches. Marvel Legends is usually about a 6. So we do have a review of Gandalf, and I'll link it at the end. But let's get back here to the Iron Man. So I had several problems with removing some heads recently from Diamond Select. I just couldn't get them back on. So, whoop, that came right off. All right, so let's do 90s mullet Tony Stark. So as you can see, fantastic. Hold on. Fantastic sculpt. Got a little dirt here on his cheek. No big deal. Bravo to Diamond for not including a bottle of liquor. Obviously, it's a Disney company. They're not going to do that. And this is a little bit after that, where Tony was, still struggling with alcohol, but not really the alcoholic that we knew from the Demon in a Bottle era. All right. No problems there. Went right back on. Nice and easy. So that came out good. I mean, this is the Tony Stark that I remember. And if you can, if you're more of a more modern fan or a Marvel fan from the movies and you're going back, Iron Man was a second-tier character. Like, he was an Avenger, but he wasn't on the level of Spider-Man, Cap, or the X-Men. He was tier 2. And kudos to Kevin Feige and Robert Downey Jr. and Jon Favreau, because they made Iron Man an A-lister, like almost overnight. Let's put on, now this is the classic helmet. I love this helmet. And this is where we're going to have some fun now, because now we can really just start souping them up. Oh, perfect. Went right on. Let's do the blue one. Ooh. Okay, so we have a nice big blast coming out of this hand. So let's say he's doing this. We're going to give him, not really understanding why this leg is just not really doing it. And then we're going to we got to do the knuckle blast, right? We got it. I mean, it's a standard. We got to do knuckle blast. Nice joints in here. Because look, you could do like knuckle blast around the corner. I don't know why, but so I'm digging that. We use this hand to fly. I guess since you could pull these off and they're not really shooting like a blast, I guess you could say we could put one in the boot. Would that work? So that's a little bit different if you really wanted to mix them up. So the armature here kind of came apart, but in a good way, so I could pull it out of the plastic, which also enables me to do different things with it if I'd like. So from my best guess is, okay, there is a spot here on the helmet. On the belt. And again, I just want to thank Diamond for sending, a figure that actually has a armature that you can actually pose it. Like, NECA charges you for these things if you try to buy them. Or maybe you just need an extra one. You can make this tall or big. Just a little worried. I'm always worried about breaking stuff. But since I'm the critic here at this point, but yet I'm like really digging this figure and I want to keep it. I don't want a broken toy. So put him here like this. Put this on the back. It's kind of a heavy-duty arm there to kind of do this with. So we're going to go a tad shorter. Kind of give him, see if we can do something else with a little bit less craziness here. So kind of giving him that little bit of flight. I mean, these arms are all, you've got to make the best of them. It's a heavier figure than probably what it should be on there. But, the more arm you put onto it, the more it's going to fall. So I'm not really lucking out here. Tony's pretty heavy. Yeah, it's coming right off. So, it's going to work. But it's just going to be some finagling. Change out some more hands. The hands are in and out. Very, very simple to apply. I'm just going to put them on the stand. I've got lots of hand pieces here. And he does have these holes, obviously, for the boots. And really just digging all of it. So he's really, I'm just going to zoom in just a little bit. So he's really, really nice. I mean, he's beautiful in color. They did a great job. I'm having a little problems posing the left leg, but I'm going to try to give you everything that's in this insanity here. So this arm's a little weak. It's a little tough to get him to look like he's flying. But as you can see, we have an extra set of this. We've got 2 extra heads. We've got the blasts for the gloves. We've got the chest one. We've got the flames for the boots. I mean, this is $29.99, and I still have all these other hands to do stuff with. So it's a really nice set. If you're a fan of Iron Man, this is the way to go. This beats any Marvel Legend of Iron Man that I've ever reviewed, and I think I've done 5 or 6 of them now. I'm really just loving the Silver Centurion and this 90s version of Iron Man. Highly recommend picking them up. Please shop local at your local comic book store. Order directly from Diamond Select if you need to. This is Bob from Total Toy Recon. Thank you. Signing out.